Hey guys, this is Noodles here. Promised you guys I'd be doing a video for you, so here we go. We're taking a look at the Tippmann A5. Bear in mind this is the older style A5, and before anybody starts anything, make sure there's no paint and no air attached to your marker. We're going to start here by removing the quick release pins that hold the stock and the trigger frame on. For your actual marker, there will be the pins. For mine, I'm running these wing nuts, just because the pins on mine over the years have broken and they're extremely expensive, pardon me, to repair slash replace. These are like $4 each or something like that. And so take out your pins. Should be 4 of them, and then just wiggle the back loose. If you're running just the stock parts, there's the little block. I'll show you during the end of the video. We got the reassembly, but for now, take your stock off. Make sure your marker is not cocked when you're doing this, of course, and just do a little bit of cleanup. Take out the hammer, pin, and spring. You're gonna need those for later. Be careful not to lose anything. I like working on towels so nothing can roll around, and we'll get more into that as we get through the video. See what I use. So now we're going to start by removing the cyclone itself. I'm not going to be opening up the cyclone for this video, so if anybody has any questions about that, they can let me know, and I might do something later. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So unscrew the main bolt, entire thing comes off. Just give it a quick wipe down. Make sure everything still works, of course. Put it aside for later. Just going to clean up a little bit here. Next step would be using a screwdriver to remove the bolts that connect the line that goes to it. This is also for the response trigger. Again, if you don't have the response trigger, if you have the E-grip instead, or even the new type of RT, or even just the stock trigger, you might not have to do this step. It would just be another pin for you to take out. Just taking off my accessories here. Got the foregrip on the front and the 45 degree Picatinny rail on the top here. Just removing that. Put it off to the side. Take out the trigger frame. Just one piece. Don't need to worry about this. Again, if it ain't broken, fix it. Just give it a little wipe down. A little bit of paint in there. And put that aside for later. Okay, so next up we have the foregrip, and just using regular old Allen key. I think that's the one that actually came with my marker. Just drop that in there. I'm using a pair of new nose pliers here just to get some leverage, and just pull it out, and there we go. Make sure not to lose that little washer on there. What's next for the disassembly? We're going to start with the there would be 6, but there's 5 here, as you can see. Little screws, use your own key, take them out. You can see in the bottom right corner there, I don't have a 6th one. Instead, I have a flat screw for the RT. But again, pending how old your A5 is and all that, that might be a little bit different. And what I like to do, I take a glass. I think I use a shot glass in this video. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, shot glass, just to keep everything together. Don't want to be losing bits. Alright, so using a flathead screwdriver, I'm going to remove that. Again, that's just where the response trigger hosing screws into. There we go, just take it off. There is a pin in there, you can push it through, but for this purpose here, for just cleaning, I didn't bother, because I'm not stripping everything down and redoing the O-rings. And once those 5 are out of the way, the entire thing just lifts away. You got half and half of your marker, and now you're ready to start gutting it. So as you can see, you got that pin there. Again, just keep it in there for this video. I don't need to worry about taking it out. And there's the top iron sight. Got the bolt assembly. Got the little latch at the bottom there for the tombstone. Then get the spring out. There we go. Don't lose that spring. It's very hard to replace. What's that? We got the cocking handle and spring. Again, make sure not to lose anything. I like laying everything out, so nothing's lost. That's where the barrel screws in, and that's the detent for the ball. Make sure no paintballs are rolling at the frame barrel. There's the nut for the foregrip. Do not lose that. Again, and then we got the handle and got the hammer and the whole bolt assembly, power tube. There we go. And you've got a clean half of the marker for you. Alright, so after about a 2-minute break there, just to wipe things down inside and get everything nice and clean, we're going to reassemble the marker. Just going to put a little bit of oil there where the moving parts are. For my marker, it's all been polished out with the Dremel. If you don't have that done for yours, don't worry about it, but less friction on moving parts, better efficiency, whatnot. I'm just going to start here by putting the latch on the bottom there for the tombstone. Make sure the spring's in the right way. The screw for the foregrip, again making sure it's flat end but facing the top of the marker. Put in the barrel adapter. Nothing pretty fancy, just lining everything up back the way you found it after it's all been cleaned and oiled, any O-rings, that kind of deal. I'm going to do the bolt assembly now. So power tube, hammer, make sure that little hole for the velocity adjuster lines up with the outside shell. Put the handle on and just connect everything together. It only goes in one way, guys, so you can't really screw this up. Make sure everything's sitting flush. So now we got the ball detent. It only goes in one way again, mind you. If you put it in upside down or whatever, it won't do its job, so make sure that's sitting right. And squish everything down, make sure it's all sitting right. Put the cocking handle back in, don't forget the spring. You can trim down the spring a little bit to make it fit better. And line everything up and just put on the second clamshell. Yeah. Again, just figured I'd do something for you guys, a little extra. Since I didn't get any videos out this week. So here we go, I'm just reassembling everything, putting that screw back in, or for the RT. Make sure it's all still in there moving correctly. Here I had a problem with the barrel adapter, but as you can see, put the barrel on and just give it just a very, very slight rotation, let it sit flush, and everything's back in there where it should be. And got that black part comes at the back of the bolt assembly there. Just stick that back in. You got your front iron sight. Just put that back on, and again, there would be 6 screws here, but for me it's 5. And just gonna give that all a quick tighten, get everything together. Go 3, 4, 5, and I'm just gonna do a quick tighten, get everything lined up. And again, this is the older style of the A5, so yours might not be exactly like this, but this is more of a visual reference than a tutorial. I'm just kind of running through it. Get out the oil, just anywhere you can see moving parts. A little bit on the bolt assembly down there. Get those O-rings nice and greased up. And what do I do next here? I'm gonna put on the foregrip again. Just make sure the washer goes on first, and then drop the whole thing through. And then using that Allen key, and again, something to grip with. Again, I use new nose pliers. Just get some leverage on there, so the whole thing's nice and tight. Not gonna be slipping around on you trying to hold your marker up. Got the trigger assembly, just drop that back in there. If you got your got the hook at the bottom with the spring in the right way, goes in nice and snug, give it a quick pull. Yeah, so that should be okay for mine. And then just line up the holes with the holes on the trigger and drop everything together. And now is when you put back in your quick release pins, but again, for my purposes, I only have the one, and then the hex nuts, or wing nuts, whatever you want to call them. Just drop that in there like that. And then we've got one going in the front, just for now, hold everything together. Okay, so what do we got here next? We got the... here I am, just again making sure everything works. Get the trigger sitting in there correctly. Okay, so now goes the spring that goes in the back for the bolt assembly there. Drop that in the back, make sure it goes spring first and then the pin, striking pin, whatever you want to call it. And just for visual reference here, I show the stock part that came with the A5 instead of the stock. Just, sits in there like that, nice and flush, everything locks together. But for my purposes, I got this fancy, G36 folding stock, so I'm just going to drop that in there. And back to quick release pins, or again, just whatever I had on hand myself. Get the hex nuts in there, wing nuts, whatever you want to call them. Someone leave a comment below, let me know what those are actually called, because I'm just kind of guessing here. If you haven't been able to tell yet, I filmed all this, and now I'm coming back and just doing a quick voiceover, so, you know, just make sure everything's sitting flush here. What's the next step? I'm just going to quickly tighten everything down, now that the stock's back in place. Again, if you don't actually need to replace your quick loose pins, I don't recommend doing it, but when they break, you know, either use what you have on hand or, you know, spend $4 each. Here I'm just reattaching the line for my response trigger. Just extra little tag of macro line and flat screwdriver to secure it down. I know on the newer style A5s they have 2 separate holes for their RT instead of just the one and then 2 lines going out, but you know, same thing, just cyclone. You can't really see it too well in the video, but there's a little latch that comes off the center of the screw. Just get everything lined up here, and macro line just pulls right back on. Yeah, and that's really all there is to it. Just get everything back together, make sure everything's lined up. And I had a bit of a problem here getting the macro line in, but once it's in for good. Nice airtight seal, and just locking that down. So we got the 3 of them there, everything just lined up, and then just take a wrench and just tighten my RT. There's actually a screw in there too, where you can actually control the airflow for the trigger speed and whatnot. But for this video, I'm just take it apart, put it back together, nothing fancy. And there we go. We have essentially what is a functioning A5. I'm just going to quickly here just double check, make sure the cyclone's still housing, make sure it cocks and releases no problem. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil. You don't want to overdo it. Just a couple drops right in the ASA. And then here I am reattaching the remote line. The male end of the remote line. But if you're running just an air tank off that, just, you know, save the oil until you're actually ready to air up. It's also worth mentioning too, make sure whenever you do try to air up your marker that at first you have it cocked back, and at the same end too, if you ever take anything apart, make sure there's no paint and no air attached. That's just, you know, that's just common sense though. Just reattaching the shroud there for my flashlight and my red dot, and give everything another once over, and we've got a functional A5. So there we go, guys. Hope you liked the video. Again, just something I did on the side, just because I didn't get any actual footage out this week. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any ideas for future videos, if you want to see anything specific, you want to look a bit more in depth on the cyclone here, or you know, whatever you guys want, just let me know, and we'll figure something out for you. All right, cheers.